So this is my LED matrix. It's designed for use indoors. See the circuitry is all open, but I'd like to put this outdoors. So I've ordered a box frame, which is this that came, which see it will fit in. Now this is designed for indoor use, so I'm going to have a go at waterproofing it. I'm going to try a combination of varnish and perhaps some silicon sealant or something to try and stop the rain getting in. But also it came with a backing sheet, which is cardboard, and a mount. Unfortunately, whilst they did custom mounts, their size restriction meant I wasn't able to get a mount that would actually fit it. So really that's no good. So I'm going to look at creating my own mount. But rather than using cardboard, I think I'll probably ditch this as well. I'm going to look at using a plastic sheeting just in case it does get any damp in. I think the cardboard would just spoil. So what I'm looking at mounting is this in here. I've got this is my Raspberry Pi that I'm going to use to control it, with the wires straight off it. I'm actually going to probably tidy that up a bit first. I'm not going to just use jumper leads, but this is in its experimental form at the moment. But I also thought about putting on a motion sensor as well. So this is quite a small, cheap little motion sensor. The cover comes off, and I'm thinking if I mount that behind the glass, potentially the cover could be put on over the top of the glass. So I'm going to look at perhaps a cutout that resembles that, and we'll have a go at that. So so this is the case. It looks like it should fit it quite nicely. So I think, although this is covered in a lacquer, these corners are potentially going to get spoilt if I don't varnish them. So I've actually got a yacht varnish that I'm going to put on there, and then open up the back. So good amount of space. Hopefully just about enough to get that, perhaps a Raspberry Pi and the sensor mounted in it. So this is the board that I've got to go in it. Just say suitable for mounting. Not sure how weatherproof this is, but the idea is really this should be staying dry, but it's just a concern if it gets a little damp. So it is actually, does actually appear it's actually cardboard with a foam insert. So, but what I've got mounting that in there, and I'll show you how I do it. So my first thought was that it actually came with this backing card that I could just cut to match that. However, see, that doesn't actually fit, so we'll forget that. To make it easier to measure it, I've taken out the insert so that I can just use that as a template, and as long as I cut exactly within that, it should be the right size. So if I just line that up with the edge and mark along there, I've got my template for cutting out. So I've got this Jacquard mount cutter as different options for 45 degrees and 90-degree cuts. I'm just going to be using the 90-degree cuts. I don't need to put any fancy 45-degree cuts. So just line this up, but I'm not lining the ruler with the pencil line, but instead there's a mark on the cutter that shows. So what I'm doing is just moving the blade down a little bit at a time, doing multiple passes on this. Hopefully that's gone through. Yeah, it's a tiny little bit just in the middle. Just run a craft knife over that. There we go. Then repeat the same. So pull the blade out first to line up. Line that up. And the blade does seem to keep sticking a little bit against the ruler. I've put a little bit of Vaseline on just to help it along. But hopefully gone through. Again, just a tiny little bit. Just because we've got a nice thick groove here, I can just run the craft knife in. There we go, and hopefully that should fit inside. That's a pretty good fit there. Now to work out how these are going to be placed. So I want the matrix display to be near the top and the sensor to be nearer the bottom. I'm just going to use that because that's the shape I want to cut out. Just mark it with a pencil, but I'm just going to mark the approximate position of the top and bottom. I'm not going to mark the sides because I'm actually going to make sure it's exactly in the centre, and the same with the PIR sensor. So I'm going to just measure these, the distance with a ruler. So in this case it's 25.5 out of 28.6. So that works out about 1.6 centimeters from each side. mark that off. Always do 2 points so that I can get a straight line. And I'm also, although I've marked out the positions there, I'm going to actually measure them. And that's 1.5. If I just measure that point is where I've marked. I'm going to then make sure that it's straight across the edge. Looks like I've actually slipped when I've drawn that line. Just a tiny bit out. And the bottom one, although I did mark it down there, I'm actually going to measure it. Is 12.6. Oops. Quite a long way off with that one. Try again. Yeah. So I'm going to it says okay making mistakes while you're measuring, as long as you check them before you actually do the cutting, because obviously once you cut, that's what you're stuck with. So you place it on. Yeah, that looks about right. Anything tiny bit might need to be a tiny bit bigger. So I'll just bring this bottom line out a tiny little bit. Okay. And now to cut that. So I've deliberately not quite gone to the corners, so I'll just use a little craft knife to finish those off. Okay, so finish popping this out, just a little bit in the corners. So I think I've done it a tiny bit too much. Right. There we go, actually, quite good fit. There we go, so that's top part. I have to do the same for the So if you imagine that that will be on the front once this is mounted. And that whole thing can be mounted inside the frame. But I'm not going to do that at the moment because first I'm going to varnish the frame as well. So this is what I'm going to varnish it with. It's a yacht varnish, water resisting and all weather protection. So hopefully this should help protect the frame. Just leave that to dry. Perhaps put another coat on afterwards. Okay, so now I've varnished it. That should hopefully provide some waterproofing for the wood. Pop the glass back in. It then has this internal frame, which is wooden. Now this is going to be real squeeze now because I now I've got varnish on now. It's made the the gap a bit narrower. Should be able to push that in, and then we've got the matrix which is mounted on the board, which should then pop inside there. So I'm going to put some sealant in here to hopefully stop any water getting in. I've already put the glass in, you can see. Might have to put some on the outside as well, not sure yet. The idea with, if I try the inside, is that it should be hopefully not very visible because of the wood frame that overhangs. If I just clean the glass on the inside. So I'm just going to put this sealant on. So this is just Unibond seal designed for bathrooms and kitchens. This one doesn't need a gun or anything, it's all fully enclosed. Turn it round and see how it goes. I've never used this before, so turns out it was a lot more violent than I thought. It sort of squeezed out really fast. But that's not a problem. I'll just try and smooth it down and then clear up some of the inside, and then I'm going to pop this frame in. And then I can give it a good clean, try and get rid of any of the sealant. So it's very tight, it's going in. Oh, and as you can see, it's pulled it all in the inside. So I just clear some of that up. I've just read on the bottle, just to double check, it says actually to use white spirit to clean it, so fortunately I've got a bottle of white spirit used for decorating, and so hopefully that will make sure that the glass is nice and clear. Just quite clean. There you go. That's looking a bit cleaner. Okay, so I'll leave that to dry now. And here it is now, all mounted inside the enclosure. From this, the wire was running to cable it up. I just put the back straight on. I haven't actually waterproofed the back anymore at the moment, like sealant or anything like that, which I'll probably do once I've finally got it working how I want it. And now in this picture you can see it mounted on the wall, so it's got just some little L-shaped brackets at the top and bottom, and they're screwed into the wood to mount it on the wall. As you can see, the PIR sensor showing there. I haven't actually mounted the Fresnel lens back on that yet, but that's another thing to do. So that's the end of this video on weatherproofing it. If you haven't already seen the existing videos on the introduction to the project or on the soldering of the Raspberry Pi, then you might want to check those out. I hope you found this useful. Please click like and share the video and subscribe to the channel, and to find out more about the projects I'm doing with Raspberry Pi, Arduino or other maker projects.